Big Sills. Hour number 2. National Football Show. Please hit the like button. I'm going to tell you how to defend Aaron Rodgers. I'm going to tell you how to defend some of the greatest quarterbacks in NFL history. And you know who I got the lesson from? Buddy Ryan. Also, our MVP Big Sills Top 10 is in this hour. Week 12, we'll look at that. Also, some college football games, too, are going to be good for your turkey eating. You know, I had a chance, and I've posted this picture on my Twitter page. Do you know who I've been educated by when it comes to defense? A guy named Ernie Stauntner, Buddy Ryan, Coach Kiffin, Bud Carson, some of the greatest defensive guys in the history of the National Football League and in college have come to my college, or I've been around, and I asked them how you defend the great quarterbacks and how you go after the great quarterbacks. Philiopolis, that's a check mark in the good column. Get pressure in the face. Up the middle. Who struggles with that the most? Tom Brady. Everyone, look, I'm going to show you guys something here, and I'm not sure you know this. There's escapes for quarterbacks and pockets. Okay? The front door, the back door, the side door. And they're told this. They're told this with what pressure's coming. You can come back and you can go through the front door. You can go through the side door. The quarterbacks all have 3 escape doors. And every quarterback has a blueprint that they struggle with. I'll give you one that Monty Kiffin told me about, Kurt Warner. Kurt Warner struggles with getting knocked off his point, as does Peyton Manning. If you notice, Peyton Manning likes to get back to a point, tap his feet, tap his feet, tap his feet. Same thing with Kurt Warner. Monty knew this. Don't let him get settled on that point in the pocket and make him move left. He's not very good at it. Not very good at it. He's not a Hall of Fame Kurt Warner when he gets off his point and has to move to his left. Everybody. Now, the great ones, like this kid Mahomes doesn't have a point. That's the frustrating thing about defending Patrick Mahomes is he can make a play from any part of the pocket. There's not a place in the pocket. That's what makes him such a tough defense for a defensive coordinator. You can't defend him because he makes these plays from every part of the pocket. Everyone, you know when you watch Bryce Harper play, he's got a sweet zone. And you know they always put that sweet zone where he has higher batting averages than lower batting averages. It's the same thing with quarterbacks in the pocket. Some of them are not very effective going to their left. Some of them are not effective or as effective rolling to the right. You've got to find that dynamic on that's what the coordinators are paid the big money for. They're trying to find out what you are not as efficient at. And that's what makes Mahomes so hard to defend. And Josh Allen, to that matter, is that these guys, they can make a play from any part of the pocket. Montana, early in his career, rolled right. They finally caught up with that and started making him roll left. And Bill Walsh is like, we got to start drop back. Montana didn't drop back right away. That developed as he got older. Same thing with Brady. And once Joe dropped back and was able to see the entire field, he's undefensible. And then you add the dynamic of Jerry Rice, It's incredible. Jerry Rice and Joe Montana in today's NFL, you couldn't defend it. You would have to come up with Shaquille O'Neal rules or jamming rules because Rice and Montana would shred this league. I think Joe Montana would throw for 10,000 yards. How are you going to stop Jerry Rice? You mean to tell me you can't touch Rice? How many pass interference plays do you think Rice and Montana would get today? How many? Every time they threw the ball, you'd have to tackle Jerry Rice. Back then, they tackled him. Okay? You couldn't defend Rice and Montana today. You just couldn't. Those guys were, it was incredible. I am Ruiz. Mahomes is very risky, and a lot of that is luck, I promise you. Bro, how can it be luck when you've been to 4 straight AFC championship games? That's not luck. That's consistency. How can that be luck? I could see luck when you're showing up to championship games every 4 years. This guy's showing up to championship games every year. Every year. He's going to throw for 5,500 yards. 55 touchdowns. Luck? I'll take that luck. Dumb comment. How do you defend Aaron Rodgers? What's the number one thing that Aaron Rodgers right now? How would you defend Rodgers? What would be the number one thing you do? What would be it? And it's something Gannon doesn't do. You got to pressure him. Jonathan Gannon I'm going to say this to you. I don't have a good feeling about this game. I'll tell you why. Everything Jonathan Gannon believes in, I think Aaron Rodgers is the kryptonite. You're not going to bring pressure on Aaron Rodgers? And you're going to run a 5 front? Okay. Everything. This plays into the Packers playing a close game. And once again, I want to underline it. Do I think the Eagles are better? Yes. Do I think the Eagles win? Yes. But you've been struggling. Don't sit there coming off a Matt Ryan struggle game and tell me you think that Matt Ryan and the Colts are better than the Packers. They're not. They're struggling. There's no question. This is the best quarterback you've played in 2 years. And you haven't beat a significant quarterback in Jalen Hurts' time yet. Excuse me. I'll take Hurts out of that. Jonathan Gannon has not beat a significant big-time quarterback in 2 years. Name one. Even last year. Name me one. Name me one quarterback that he's stuffed. I can't. Name me one quarterback that he has stuffed. Let's take a look at this. Let's name the quarterbacks. And let's go back to last year. Let's take a look at this. Philadelphia Eagles 2021 schedule. Here's the 21 schedule. (2021). Let's see what you played last year. Okay. 49ers, Garoppolo, beat you. Dak, beat you. Mahomes, beat you. Brady, beat you. Herbert, beat you. There's nobody else. Now, 2022. 2022 Eagle results. Let's see here. Eagles, here's your big-time quarterbacks. Jared Goff, Cousins, Kyler Murray, so Cousins and Kyler Murray. That's far cry from Aaron Rodgers. Jonathan Gannon, his system doesn't set up for really good performances against great quarterbacks. It just doesn't. Sports goes like this. He's got nothing left. Neither did Matt Ryan. Matt Ryan's got nothing left. Matt Ryan has nothing left on what Tyler Heineke does. Tyler Heineke. Dak is way better than Rush. Yeah, really? Niners all day. Overrated 9-1 team. Played nobodies. Niners, I would say this to you. I think that's more of a league issue, not an Eagle issue. I think that's a league deal. Okay? I would say that is a league deal. Okay? Last year. We'll see Sunday. Monroe. Yeah, we sure will. You haven't beaten anybody this year either. I mean, don't let Tyler Heineke get in the way. Or Matt Ryan or David Mills. No. 85. I said it's a league thing. I said it's a league issue. I don't think that they're – but you see, I think the teams in the AFC play better quarterbacks. You play no quarterbacks. None. Zero. You don't play any good quarterbacks. You got one this week. This is going to be a really good litmus test. And again, I want to make sure I want you guys to know, I don't think the Packers are winning this game. I think this is going to be another 60-minute football game. You're not going to blow them out. You're not blowing anybody out. For the last month and a half, you haven't blown anyone out. You're not blowing anyone out. Dallas Goedert being out, AJ's hurt. You got an old line that's banged up. You're not beating anybody up. You're going to play 60-minute football games the rest of the way out here. You're not a dominant offense. Look at the performances. You think you're getting better since that Minnesota game? I don't. And now that you've been injured, and now you lose Dallas Goedert, you think you're better today without Dallas Goedert? How asinine. You think you're better today without Dallas Goedert and the inability to get the ball to Devonta Smith? Really? Who in their right mind thinks that? You're not a dominant offense. Jalen Hurts is playing really good football. There is no question the versatility of Jalen Hurts is keeping you at 9-1 and keeping this thing running. Dude, I don't care what your record is right now. You don't play like a 9-1 team. That quarterback is playing like a 9-1 quarterback, but the rest of that, your offense, man, was suck ass, and so was your coaching staff on Sunday against the Colts. Numbers say they are. Really? Last 2 weeks. How many points have you scored in the last 2 weeks? How many? Okay? I said this is going to be a very interesting ball game. Now, look, here's how you stop Aaron Rodgers. Here's how you stop him. You have got to turn this guy, and it's going to be a very difficult task to do. Don't let Aaron Jones get going. And this is going to sound crazy. You're going to have to let Aaron Rodgers at least have his way back there. And you're going to have to let this guy not give up the big plus 25 play. Don't let them get the running game going. I don't believe in their wideouts. I think their wideouts are limited. I think their wideouts are not very skilled. There's some good-looking players that will be good, I think, in a couple of years. But right now, that pass receiving core, it might be one of the worst pass receiving cores that you're going to play for the rest of the way out. They're not very good. I shouldn't say very good. They're very mediocre. They're very mediocre. Okay? And what I would do, if I'm the Eagles, I want to get up on this team. Make them have to throw the ball. And I know that sounds crazy with Rodgers, but make them throw the ball. Don't let that running game get going. You can't have – you've got to turn that Packer team. And he has struggled in finding these wideouts. I think how many times have we seen these wideouts not running full routes? If you watch the latest 22 on the Packers, they cut routes off. They're rounding routes off. They're not running through the progression. And that's why Rodgers is trying to throw back shoulder passes to him. None of them are on the same page with him. None of them have a connection with him. All those things that he had with Devonta Adams, all that stuff. Okay. Did I miss a super chat? I'm sorry, Sports. If I did, we'll put it back up there. I didn't see it. The rookie wide receiver's not bad, but to me, they're just not. Hey, Xander, Seals, you missed a super chat. That's what Sports is saying. I hope we didn't. If we did, we'll put it back up there. I promise you. I apologize if we did. Here it is. Name one great team the 49ers beat this year. I'll wait. I told you it's not a league. It's not an Eagle thing. It's a league thing. Okay? You haven't played anybody. But you haven't. But I'm more talking about you haven't played any quarterbacks. You've played Cooper Rush and Tyler Heineke. I don't know. You figure it out. That dude Watkins has made some nice catches. Yeah, some. But that's not a pro wide receiving core that they have in Green Bay. It's in development right now. You know, that's the one thing Green Bay has been able to do over the decades. They haven't had to really go out and waste a first-round draft choice. When it comes to signing a wideout, they've been able to get him in the second and third. Remember, Devonta Adams was not a first-round draft choice. He was a second-rounder out of Fresno. And so all the guys that they have developed over the years, I mean, I don't think they've drafted a wide receiver in the first round since when? Back in the 80s? They just don't do it. Okay? They just don't do it. Okay? You said Rodgers wouldn't struggle without Adams. You know what's funny? What Devin just said? The whole team has struggled. Here's a struggling year for Rodgers. 4,000 passing yards and 30 touchdowns and 7 picks. That's a down year. I know franchises like the Jets and the Giants would bend over for a down year like that at quarterback. By the way, his down year is one of the greatest years in the history of Eagle football. Rodgers will have around 4,100 yards this year and 30 touchdowns. That would be considered one of the greatest passing years in Eagle history. That's a down year? That's the standard that Aaron Rodgers has set. That's the standard. The Giants and Jets would kill for that. A quarterback with 30 touchdowns and 4,200 yards. They would kill for that. That's a down year. Brady's down too, right? Even though he's on pace for the all-time attempts and completion numbers. And he's on pace for 4,200, 4,300 yards. Okay. I'd be careful about Tom Brady if you get a hold of him in the playoffs. You ain't beating him. You ain't beating him with that effort. Eagles haven't played a full 60 minutes in all season, so personally, I'm not impressed. Personally, I think you have played your best football. Personally, you haven't played your best. You haven't played your best football was that Minnesota game. Name me another game you thought was impressive since the Minnesota game. The Cowboy game against Cooper Rush? What game since the Monday night game against Minnesota would you say was your best effort? What was your best effort? Pittsburgh? Losing Goddard is a huge thing, not only in the passing game, but in the run game too. Okay? We have the same number of Super Bowls as Rodgers does. Oh, you do? So one guy has the same number of Super Bowls as your entire franchise. I wouldn't throw that out, JM. It's kind of embarrassing. It's hard to route everything, but I get the point. Hey, Yale, there's no doubt. Okay? Hurts Cardinals? The Cardinals. What's the Cardinals' record this year? What are they, 4-7 too? Have you guys beaten anybody? The Lions game. I said since Minnesota too. Goddard is savage. Dude, his loss is being felt. Steven, Philly 500 will be joining us on Friday. Craig Carton, Phil Sims. We're going to have a bunch of people on Friday, too, for that extravaganza we're doing. We're having a whole boatload of folks jump aboard with us. Can't dominate everybody. You've only dominated one. Well, I wouldn't say you haven't dominated. That's not fair because you've always been the alpha in every game, I would say. Dude, we can beat anybody except Washington. And Dak. And Dak. All right. As advertised. Oh, wait. I want to make sure that I close it up. Okay. You're not going to bring pressure on Rodgers. So you got to stop the run. This is what I think he's going to do. He won't bring pressure. Can you imagine not? Do you know that they blitzed Aaron Rodgers 64% of the time? The Dallas Cowboys. He's not going to do that. He's not going to do that. What's so funny, Philly D? You haven't beaten Dak. Jalen hasn't. He's 7-3 against you guys. I'd win a game against him first before I start. Or is this like, the wishful thinking, rubbing the lamp and the genie comes out and all? Oh, okay, I get it. Hassan! Oh, my God. I couldn't believe I put him on my list. All right. Here is the Big Sills top 10 MVP candidates heading into week 12, baby. Number 10, Kirk Cousins, 8-2 Minnesota Vikings. Horrible. Absolutely horrible scenario that they got into two big giant games and they got waxed in those two big games, Eagles and Cowboys. They beat the pants off them, and he was in the conversation higher up. He's fallen, and he's just about to fall out, okay? He's just about to fall out. Wow, that's really a great list. Look at what Butch Davis just sent me. His number there. Butch Davis just sent me this. He drafted 35 first-round draft choices. Here they are. Ray Lewis. Wow. Ray Lewis. Sean Taylor. So Butch Davis recruited Sean Taylor, Bubba Franks, Ray Lewis, Willis McGahee, Ed Reed, Bryant McKinney, Dan Morgan, Edgerrin James, Jeremy Shockey, Philip Buchanan. Whew. Wow. That's unbelievable. Kirk Cousins, number 10, baby. Big Sills, top 10 MVP race. Number 9, the greatness of Geno Smith comes in at 9 in the MVP race. Number 8, Tom Brady. Tom Brady. GT, I'm confident that Sills will say we went to the Super Bowl and won and didn't play anyone. You are? Well, a guy was able to take advantage of talented kids from Florida ghettos by talking to coaches. So he's special? Yeah. Yeah. No other coach in Miami's done it since. How many coaches recruit Ray Lewis and Ed Reed? By the way, Ed Reed's from Louisiana, jackass. Jeremy Shockey's from Oklahoma. Vince Wilfork's from Texas. Read a book. Number 8, Tom Brady, baby. Number 7, Tyreek Hill, Miami. Number 6, Lamar Jackson. Here we go. Now we are in the top 5 for the MVP race, according to Big Sills. And by the way, I have a vote for the most valuable player award. Joey Burrow. Love the guy. That's a quarterback. Number 4, one of the greatest arm talents to ever play in the NFL, Josh Allen, Buffalo Bills. Here we are, top 3. Here we go. Big Sills, MVP race. From the city of brotherly love, Jalen Hurts. Number 3 in the MVP race, according to Big Sills. Number 2, Tua Tagovailoa. I see why Nick Saban picked him over Jalen at Alabama now. He's a better passer. It's been confirmed and validated. It's funny. Tua can find Jalen Waddle, and Jalen Hurts can't find Devonta Smith. Interesting. Very interesting. He can't find him at Philly. He couldn't find him when he was, I got it now. I got it now. Number 2 is Tua Tagovailoa. And number 1, this guy is an A. Hey, yeah, that is such a funny guy. That is such a funny thing there, man. I'm happy for Tua, but I'm not sold on him. Isn't that psychotic? This guy is an alien, Patrick Mahomes. So here are your Big Sills MVP race. Kirk Cousins, 10. Geno Smith, 9. By the way, my boy Jimmy G is rolling up this list. He's at 11, just to keep you informed, because by the end of the year, he'll probably be in the top 5. Go get him, Paisan. You know I'm rooting for you. How you doing? Geno Smith, 9. Brady, 8. Tyreek Hill, 7. Lamar Jackson, 6. Joe Burrow, 5. Josh Allen, 4. Jalen Hurts, 3. Tua is 2. And Patrick Mahomes is number 1. There is your MVP race. Yeah, but wait a minute, Niners, he's rolling, man. You know I'm a Jimmy G guy. He'll be rolling up that list. He keeps winning the ball games that he's winning. Jimmy G's watching this. Of course, Jimmy G watches everything. I know John Lynch does. Tua is much better than Hurts and has proven it. Well, I would say this to you, JT. Jalen is more complete all around. Plus, there's a health factor. Hurts, I'm gonna knock on wood, he don't get hurt. And he's able to use his wheels. Tua can't. You don't want Tua in open space. My God. I bet you that coaching staff tells him, don't run. Please don't run. I'd rather have you take a loss or throw the ball away than run. You don't want him running. He gets hit one time, you don't know if he's out for the rest of the year. That's the problem with him. Okay? You just see. Hurts is a beast. He won't throw for 4K. He won't throw for 4K. I like how all you guys are talking about. How about Christian McCaffrey, though, talking about my boy Jimmy Garoppolo? You see what he said today? McCaffrey goes like this. Man, this guy Jimmy G just doesn't get the credit. Everyone in San Francisco was pushing that guy, one-play Trey. They were throwing him in there. Trey Lance, to me, you know what he reminds me of? He's a decathlete trying to play quarterback. That guy is, I don't know. I'm not taking the ball out of the hands of a guy who's 43-19 and wins every game he's in almost. 4 touchdowns. I mean, come on, man. What are you talking about here? Plus, he waxed Jalen last year. We're still 9-1. Hurts ain't hearing any of that rat poison. Don't matter, man. Won't matter. Yeah, keep struggling against the Colts, the Texans, the Washington Commanders. Jimmy Garoppolo, baby. Yeah, well, 85. Backup records aren't 43-19. By the way, once you win a playoff game before you start barking at Garoppolo, have your boy win a game. Like a playoff game. Jimmy G's 4-2. Have him win a playoff game at least. Who has Hurts beat? Kirk Cousins. And Cooper. Jalen's number 3. Jimmy G has a great defense. Of course he does. Of course he does. Yeah, and he threw 4 touchdowns, too, last week. There's some of that great talent on his team, too. He's a great game manager. Yeah, I know the story. I know all the stupid comments. Do you know who the best third down passer is in the NFL? It's Garoppolo. Why don't you have Jimmy G 4? Because he's not there yet. He's getting there. You got to be fair to everybody else. I think the rest of these guys have played well. Yeah. Hurts has the NFL running scared. I'm sure after that performance against the Colts, everyone is frightened. Coming off the last 2 weeks between Washington and the Colts, I'm sure everyone's frightened of the Eagles. I mean, petrified. You see that, man? I mean, yeah. I bet you they're petrified. Tua has Tyreek. That creates a whole other dynamic in the offense. Yeah, and you don't have Goddard anymore. No, but I'm scared of Dallas, and they stumped that 8-1 Vikings. That's Jalen. I mean, that's Xander. You more worried about? I'm more worried about the 49ers than I am Dallas. I do not believe the Cowboys. They kicked the shit out of Washington or out of Minnesota. But dude, I don't think that they have the wheels to beat you guys. Listen, Sills, when we get healthy, okay, that's true. We will see a complete performance. LA, okay, agreed. Yes. Hurts under 200 passing yards. You will remember this comment. You think he has under 200 passing yards against Green Bay? That'll be the third straight week, right? Big Sills. Let's see. Debo has to play wide receiver and running back because Jimmy, you're missing out on Christian McCaffrey. And you have not been watching 49er football lately. Tony Pollard is legit. You see he was named the NFC Player of the Week? Yeah, right, huh? That's a good call there, Niners. That's right. Tony Pollard was just named the NFC Player of the Week offensively. Dallas, I think, is going to beat the hell out of the Giants tomorrow. I think they're going to beat the hell out of them. Danny Dimes has got to win over Jalen. Danny Dimes. Danny Dimes. My God almighty. Don't tell me Danny Dimes beat you. Good night. Top of the hour, by the way, week 12 of the NFL, plus the Thursday games. We're going to get into those. Danny Dimes beat you. Jeez. McCaffrey just came. He did. Vikings had a lot of defensive starters out against the Cowboys. True. Okay, true. Ain't going to front the 49ers scare me. Monroe, you still are going to get that game at home, though. You know what I mean? You're going to get the game at Link. And you're going to have it at Lincoln Financial. Niners lose by 3 on Sunday. And the Eagles lose by 7 on Sunday. Dude, don't lose at home to Aaron Rodgers. Can you imagine if Rodgers – this would be a great way for Rodgers to go out. He beat the Cowboys and the Eagles, and he could always go like this. Hey, you want to arrest me? Go ahead. I'll take my $50 million and sit down. You guys can sit me out the rest. I did beat the – this is going to be his Super Bowl. He's going to play this game like it's his Super Bowl. You watch, Niners. Aaron Rodgers is going to have his best game. Yeah, Danny Dimes. Remember, Sills said Vikings beat the Eagles 42-20. What a bozo. Yeah, you know, you're right. I missed out on the Washington Commander thing with Tyler Heineke. Oh, I think Aaron Rodgers is going to have a huge game. I think this. Hey, Niners. You think the Packers win this game Sunday? His celebration is beating the Eagles? Yeah. It's all he's got. He has nothing else. What a way to screw up a season. Beat the number 1 seed in the NFC? Yeah. You don't think he already feels a little bit vindicated when he beat the shit out of the Cowboys? You know he does. Sills only put up 3 points in quarter. Sills Hurts only put up 3 points in 3 quarters. Man, you got to give him credit, man. He's playing great ball. He's playing great football. You got to. All right, I got to take a timeout. Some really good Turkey Day games in college football, too. I got a top 10 college football poll. I also have a Heisman race and week 12 of the NFL. I want to get into some of the Thursday games, too. We'll do a little bit of that next and at the top of the hour. Keep it right here on the National Football Show.
Don't wait until